So yeah, disclaimer before we even start. This video is obviously a bit of fun, and yeah, I mean it's how to pull a ... is kind of ultimately what it means. You've got as much chance of pulling ... than you have of any of the people stereotyped in this video. It's a bit of fun. So all them incels and bros and people who think wearing perfume can immediately seduce someone, ain't the video for you, mush. I mean, we're not going to get into this because this is a fun video. Of course, smelling nice, oh, look at that, can be beneficial. Being clean, you know, having a charming personality and such that. And there are a lot of things that attract people to each other, but I don't think, I mean, perfume is an enhancer, like wearing a nice belt, I suppose, or makeup, or what have you. I mean, makeup's not necessary, fragrance is not necessary, as long as you smell clean and you look clean and you are clean, and you yourself, I suppose, all these things work equally. I am being eaten alive by flies. Maybe it's because of my fragrance, they just can't get enough of me. That's about the only thing your fragrance is really going to make want to devour you. So anyway, let's get in. So let's go for it. Let's go for the first one. A sporty person, a jock, I believe it's known as in other parts of the world. Someone athletic and got that big get-go about them to keep fit and go to the gym and what have you. What are they hoping to smell on you? Well, it's really obvious, isn't it? They tend to go for something, you know, simple, like we were saying before, smells fresh and clean, generic, not anything that's going to make anyone think, because you can't do that while you're in the gym. You've got to concentrate on being so I've gone for Bleu de Chanel, which is from Chanel, obviously. This is your kind of king of generic. Oh god, I'm gonna be eaten alive. And what it basically is it's citrus, a few herbs, that kind of blue semi-aquatic smell. I'm not going to go through the notes, don't need to. We know what it smells like. This was before Sauvage, which added an extra, you know, metallic shower to it. And it's kind of a fragrance DNA that lasted a long time, actually. It's still about nowadays, isn't it? You still get people making blue fragrances, but I think this is perfect. They're gonna smell you and go, oh, you smell so generic. You smell just like everybody else. But actually you smell fresh and clean in the gym. Oh, what are you wearing? Bleu de Chanel? How much was that? Wow, I could have bought 50,000 protein shakes with that. Not sure about you, lad. And then, yeah, so that's how to attract an athletic type, a sporty person. The king of the blue fragrances, Bleu de Chanel from Chanel. Next up is a politician. Go the other direction here. Now, I'm not saying all politicians are corrupt or in it for themselves or greedy or just dodgy people indeed, or, you know, just most of them. And there's one or two who may have accidentally stumbled into it. Not working class people in the UK though. No. The Labour Party have made sure they've got rid of all of them types. Politics isn't for normal people, you know. But anyway, what sort of fragrance would attract a politician? Well, I've gone for Goldman. And there is a particular reason I've gone for Goldman. Now, it is very clean, it's very classy. Smells expensive, it's aldehydes, it's white florals, it's got a little touch of civet in there. It smells golden, if you like. It's got that Chanel No. 5 kind of feel to it, from the lily of the valley and the aldehydes. It's very classy and it's very sophisticated, with a kind of Middle Eastern kind of twang in it. But this is also Vladimir Putin's signature scent. Now, all of our politicians pretend we don't like Russia, we don't like, again, I'm talking about the UK, we don't like that sort of thing, but my God, they want his money. They certainly do love him. I mean, Boris Johnson, there's no allegedly about this, went to a party with KGB people and lost his handler to go and do that. I mean, yeah, that was just after there was a poisoning in the UK from Russia, perhaps. I mean, I believe it was. The evidence is quite overwhelming. But anyway, they love Russian money. London wouldn't exist without Russian money. Our economy probably wouldn't exist without dirty, dodgy Russian money. Football teams, energy firms, all their yachts, all their properties they own. So I believe this is why Goldman is actually the perfect way to attract a politician, because they might think you're slightly connected to Putin. But not obviously, because we don't want that, do we? So that's Amouage Goldman. Next is a farmer. Yeah, what do we mean by a farmer? Farmers tend to be nowadays, again, I can only base it on the UK, fairly middle class people. Fair amount of inherited wealth. The farms tend to be passed down to them. I'm not saying they're not hardworking or great people. We'd be pretty lost without them. Although in this country, it's more of a hobby. We import all of our food, not for our nearest neighbours, that would be silly. Cheaper, quicker, more environmentally friendly. No, we kind of import ours from random places all over the world, because why not? And farmers tend to be, you get your two types. You get your kind of grumpy, stereotypical hard done to farmer who does work very hard and they don't have much money left and they're completely ripped off by supermarkets. Or you get your middle class people doing it as a sort of hobby, if you like. You know, your Jeremy Clarks and your famous chefs. Why not? I've got loads of money, let's have a farm. They don't get subsidies anymore from anyone. It's supposed to be replaced by our government, but oh, of course it wasn't. So they tend to be, let's call them classy, but with a bit of something there. So I've gone for Dior's Oud Rosewood. Perfect fragrance for them. It's got this kind of animalic leather grrr about it. It's beautiful, it's classy. It's got that kind of raspberry running through it as well, with the rosewood in there, and it adds a bit of sweet class to it. It's elegant, it's a little bit gruff. It's something that a modern 21st century British farmer would wear, I think. And yeah, if that's your jam and you really want to marry a farmer, Dior's Oud Rosewood. Next up is a rich person, a sugar daddy, a sugar mummy, someone who's got more money than sense or taste. Someone who's gonna, you know, make sure we have a miserable but luxury existence. And what I've gone for that is the epitome of more money than taste, Roja Dove. And I've picked 51. Now, don't get me wrong, I like this one, I own this one. It's kind of pastel florals, powdery rose and musks, a little bit of violet in there, some nice woods. It is a beautiful fragrance. Not going to say it's not, but it ain't creative, ain't interesting, and subjectively, the price is a bit, for those people who don't mind, you know, what's a few £100 for something that's pleasant? They don't really mind, do they? And yeah, this is going to be one you wear and they're going to go, oh, you smell so beige, so generic and unoffensive. you're not going to have much of an opinion on anything. You're going to just fall to my rich golden whims. Oh, yes, I might buy a bottle of this as well. And yes, I'll be your rich daddy. And that's Rosia Dove's 51. Next up, we have the local librarian. Now, this person is, we know what a librarian is. They're very quiet. They're very kind of studious and modest looking. You know, they may be wearing kind of beige pants or a nice little light flowery dress, some glasses, and they're cute and they're small, smart. They're a little bit awkward and shy, but yeah, fun. And what I've gone for them is Opus 3 from Hamouage. Now this one is it's primarily violet iris. There's a little bit of incense in there. There's some gorgeous ambrette, and there's this kind of mimosa in it, and it does, as it dries down, have a little bit of a kind of musty old book feel about it. So it's kind of perfect for that. And we all know these librarians are very quiet and very what have you whilst they're at work, but you know, behind the scenes they're absolutely wild. They're sacrificing people on altars, reading witchcraft. They like to cast dark spells, go to heavy metal clubs covered in studs and leather. They're that kind of person. And with this being an Hamouage, it fits both them kind of personalities quite nicely. So yeah, for a nice, lovely librarian person is Hamouage's Opus 3. Yes, look, this one was gonna be in here, and you know what fragrance it is. There's no way it could be any other fragrance. A Goth and Noir de Noir. Now, Goths are kind of, you know, they wouldn't be out in this weather, would they? There's too much sunlight. They're quite independent-minded, a little bit on the, you know, grumpy side. They like the darker things in life. They're obviously a little bit wild and like to do crazy things, and then go, it was alright, I guess, you know, that kind of thing. I don't really like colours or anything, but I'm going to listen to Avril Lavigne because, yeah. Anyway, so for a Goth, Noir de Noir, dark rose, truffles, a little bit of oud, that kind of mix with the red wine. It's so they can cosplay, isn't it? They can go to some sort of event where they semi-dress up as Dracula. You accidentally wear a pink belt, so you're an outcast. But that's what makes me individual, man. So it just suits that whole thing. As you sit there swirling the red wine in front of the computer-generated fire. It's all perfect. So for a Goth, very brief, because how many times have I mentioned this fragrance? Tom Ford, Noir de Noir. Next up is them kind of scientist people. They're not known for being very socially magnetic or particularly skilled in that field. Thinking of the scientists I know, my nephew. They're very logical thinkers. They're kind of, when they're in that zone, you know, they like taking rules, following processes. Free thinking is not encouraged, and everything goes along smoothly. And yeah, they're kind of cool people. I mean, they save the planet, don't they? And everything we have is thanks to scientists. I mean, that's awfully woke of me. Fancy me believing in science which uses theories and practice. And follows rules and actually has evidence. That's so woke of me. Yeah, I'm talking to you. But anyway, the what I've gone for that is, what would suit a scientist? Well, I've gone for Date with a Dame, because Date with a Dame is a fragrance that exudes this kind of soft innocence. But scientists are often quite quite out there, aren't they? Again, outside of work, they're quite interesting folks. They have very weird interests, and they're quite crazy. I mean, thinking of the scientists at uni, they like to drink. Again, they weren't great at mixing with people, but they certainly like to party and a laugh. And date with a dame, the kind of tuberose, the kind of love beautiful muskiness, and all that goes with it, that sweet cherry kiss. That, like I say, that kind of purple-haired scientist. Someone who's a bit kind of crazy. You think they're really sweet and innocent and lovely, but actually, you know, spray a bit of date with dame with them, and then you get that naughty side come out, and they enjoy a good party. So yeah, for a scientist, date with a dame from One Way Bridge. Next is a kind of hippie, kind of pagan sort of lover of nature and fairies and all things green and flowery. I suppose like myself, innit, really. And that, you know, again, they always seem quite at peace, quite serene, quite easygoing kind of people, until there's a festival. And then again, they like to take off all their clothes, dance around poles, set fires, you know, back in the old days, sacrifice people, just enjoy being one with nature, especially with the nudity. I mean, why not? I mean, we were born like that, we're going to go like that, aren't we, really? And for a kind of person at one with nature, I've actually not gone for a cheeky one. I've gone for Lotus Rising from April Aromatics. Yes, spoken about it lots. It is that kind of serene connection with the earth. The lotus flower has so much symbolism, and because it's so vivid, it is a lotus flower bobbing in a stream, surrounded by the green things and the mud and the flowers. It's absolutely perfect for that sort of person to be quite spiritual and at one. I mean, if you want to sit by the stream and take clothes off and dance about, why not? Rub the flowers all over yourself, make a nice little crown. It's just perfect for that sort of person. So they're going to be, you know, really intrigued and attracted to you, of course. So for a hippie kind of pagan-y type person, we've gone for Lotus Rising from April Aromatic. Don't worry, we're nearly at the end of this ridiculous video now. Next is Emo. They are not the same as Goths, though they do such a certain sort of connection with the black and the kind of grumpiness. But Emos are I mean, is there any need? Emos are traditionally kind of your more, everybody hates me, the world is awful. They also wear a lot of colours, not to be mixed up with skater people, though it's a similar kind of fashion. A little bit of black eye makeup, pierced lip, pink and black hair. You know, it's also terrible. It's also, why are we here? What is life? I really hate you. Why does the universe pick on me individually? Anyway, for an emo, apart from a car, hang on, I've actually gone for Portrait of a Lady, because it's this kind of, to me, it's a lonely, sad, apathetic kind of rose. It's there, it's like that, it's one of these, it's all alone, it's bowing down, it's why is life so bad? Why am I so alone? And it's got that kind of earthy patchouli. Patchouli's kind of popular with these sorts of folks, isn't it? And it's also got a kind of sweetness in there, a little bit of colour, like an emo has. Don't need to go any further, do we? That is Portrait of a Lady from Frederick Mal for one of those emo types. So next we have a chav, or a chava, or a scally, I suppose, maybe our foreign friends would recognise. These are people who like to wear tracksuits and overly expensive trainers for no apparent reason, tuck their tracksuits into their socks. Not like that anymore, don't know why, but yeah, in it. Oh. And you know, or wear big hoop gold earrings and about 43 inches of paint filler or makeup, and yeah, they generally fake tan, quite stylish to their own type, I imagine. I was thinking, what would they wear? I'm not being rude to any fragrances in this, but it would be something very generic, wouldn't it? And you know, we've mixed the marketing towards people here, so we'll go for a female marketed one. Again, no offence to the fragrance, it's perfectly, it's a fragrance, and that is Aphrodite from Soaky Fragrances. This is very likeable, it's very easy, it doesn't require much thought. It's basically this kind of coconutty, slightly fruity conditioner. That's what it smells like to me, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's very generic, it's very in at the moment. I just think this is the sort of thing a Chav would go for. So that's Aphrodite from Sophie Fragrances. Soaky London. And do you know what? This fragrance, it really lasts. So finally is, yeah, what if we want to attract one of them influencer types? I mean, they're quite dead behind the eyes, but some of us, you know, I suppose we like that kind of thing. And what would an influencer wear? Well, it would first of all be a fragrance that very few people have ever paid for, wouldn't it? So it would be from one of them influencer brands. Let's say Parfums de Marly. Let's be nice and say Delina. Now, I do understand the love for Delina, although these people who have it in their top 10 lists for life, I do doubt that they've purchased it. But that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And to wear like Delina, which is this kind of sharp, screechy, horrific rhubarb mixed with a peony shampoo and rose, and is just a kind of pink. Again, is it generic? Was it the first? No. Is it generic? Me. Yeah. Whichever way you want to look at it, really, isn't it? But they will smell that on you and they'll go, oh my God, this person doesn't pay for things either. Maybe they're dead behind the eyes. Maybe they can read a script really well. Maybe they'll get likes and clicks and shares and saves, and maybe they'll be perfect for my channel. Oh my God, this person wears Delina. They've heard of Parfums de Marly, the influencer brand. I'm going to get with that guy straight away. And that is kind of the perfect fragrance for that. So for more influency people is Delina from Parfums de Marly. So yeah, this video was fun, a bit of fun. There's no offence meant to anyone. Maybe the influencers I particularly tune into are dead behind the eyes. Maybe the Chavs I know are particularly not the most intellectual types. None of the there's no such thing as a bad fragrance. There was no offence to any of the fragrances in here. In fact, all the ones I mentioned are pretty loved, aren't they? I maybe do mean a bit of offence to some dodgy, corrupt politicians. I mean, don't we all? Kind of ruins it for us all, doesn't it? But apart from that, no hate towards anyone. It's a bit of fun. What about you? What would you wear to attract these sorts of people? Is there a sort of person you're trying to attract? Because fragrance works. Wink, wink. Top 10 panty droppers. Oh yes. No, none of that nonsense. But what would you wear to attract a particular sort of person? Again, a bit of fun. Nothing serious. Because I do have a lot of long-winded, quite serious videos. So yeah, thanks folks. Bye.